Every day you can be on the podium. You can decide if you're going to be a bronze, a silver, or a gold today. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's right here in your heart. It's up here in your mind. It's up here in your actions. It's up here in your habits. It's up here in your work. And each day and every day you can decide if you want to be on the podium. Are you going to be on the podium or not? Are you going to be a bronze medalist, a silver medalist, or a gold medalist? You decide. It's your choice.
I used to chase the ROI all the time, return on investment. And over the course of time, that has evolved into what I call return on life.
Welcome back to the show, the Return on Life podcast. And I am Randy Dyck, your host, and I'm excited to be here today. Hey, I had a guest that was scheduled for us to do a Return on Life podcast. A great guest. I won't say who it is because I still want to have this guest on, and we're going to have him shortly. But in the meantime, I thought, why don't I share some things about what's happening in my life right now and what I'm going through and helping people that I'm coaching, mentoring, and of course, helping them be successful, not only in real estate, but in life. And so today I want to talk about some habits like mindset, success tax, time bending, really being specific and finding how to be a catalyst in your business, identifying some obstacles, and of course, how to follow through and beat those obstacles, depth perception, measuring performance, celebrating your wins, and so forth. So I'm really excited today to share on some of these things. For many of you, you've been on some holidays, I'm sure, and I was also away. It's always great to get away. Great to get away and reflect, have some time of, I guess, downtime so you can reflect, be creative, because that's when I find that I'm most creative is when I have some downtime and I can just let my mind just kind of roll and just kind of flow with the motion. And that's often when I find that I'm most creative. And so I'm really hoping that you've had some time away this summer to really get into your head, so to speak, and just let it be creative and let it flow. But let's start off with some things about success, some habits and mindset. And mindset and mental programming is so important. And so I want to kind of walk through some of that, how to be right in the mind and how to succeed with that. And programming your mind and habit stacking are two things that are just so important. And how do we program our mind? Well, it's by being consistently doing things that actually elevate just 1%, 2% each and every time you do it. And so it's about doing all of those things in your habitual day, your habits that you do on a daily basis that just help you move the needle a little bit. And that starts first thing in the morning. And I would really encourage each and one of you to have a routine throughout the entire day. Now, I know that sounds boring. The same routine every day. Yes, the most incredible athletes, the most incredible mind thinkers, the people that really are making a difference often have a very, very consistent day in, day out, day in, day out. In fact, one of the things that a lot of people do that are very successful is they have only one shirt that they wear every day. They've got a closet full of 20 shirts that all look identical, and every day they put that same shirt on. It is about doing the same thing each and every day, but just making it better each and every day, 0.5%, 1%, whatever it may be, which is so important. And it's really about those habits, stacking positive, good habits each and every day. And when we stack those habits on a consistent basis, great things happen. So ask yourself this question: what does your day look like? Can somebody actually set their alarm, their clock, I got to get up today at this time because so-and-so just got up? Like, is there something in your day that is just so consistent that people can actually set their watch to it? I've had many of my clients say, listen, I can set my watch to when I see you drive by my house on the way to the gym. I can set my watch to whatever it may be that is consistently what I do each and every day, as long as it's a positive thing. It's got to be a positive thing that is actually moving the needle and helping you grow yourself, your business, your family, your financial kingdom, whatever it is. But there's got to be some things that are just consistently there each and every day. And you just start stacking a good habit on another good habit on another good habit. That habit could be, gosh, I'm just going to eat well. I'm just going to eat well for the next 30 days. And once you've accomplished that, okay, I'm going to eat well and I'm going to exercise consistently well each and every day. Then I'm going to show up at the office at the same time to the minute, or you're going to start your workday to the minute each and every day. These are all habit stacking activities that bring success. So ask yourself, are you stacking habits and are you actually adding successful habits to your habit stacking? That is the question I'm asking you. Stop, think about it. Are you doing these things consistently each and every day to improve who you are and improve your business? And then there's the success tax. Ooh, tax. Nobody likes to pay tax. I hate that word, tax, tax. But I'm going to say this. I do like paying taxes because if I'm paying taxes, I know that I'm making some dough and then I'm taking some dough home, some money home. So tax, look at it as a positive. Success tax. Introduce this concept of success tax in your life. And success tax, well, it's kind of a hard word to say. Success tax, I'll say it again. Success tax is really about the price you have to pay, to achieve your goals. Now, what's the price? The price could be time, it could be effort, it could be sacrifices. It could be sacrifices. Let me just talk about sacrifices. Often we set goals. And I'm going to say, why don't we set sacrifices? Instead of setting goals, set the sacrifices that you're willing to give up. What are you willing to give up or sacrifice to become better, to reach your goals? And those sacrifices could be anything from time. It could be putting in extra hours that you normally wouldn't want to do. It could be giving up a pleasure of some sort for a time frame to succeed in something else. There's often been times that I've given up whatever. I remember I'm a kite surfer. I love to kite surf. And I shared this with one of my mentors. I said, listen, I'm going to give up kite surfing. I'm not going to go kite surfing till I achieve this goal. That was a sacrifice. I love it. I love it. But I wanted to not only readjust my thinking and make sure that I understood that I needed to sacrifice something to get there. But when you sacrifice something, no different than when you sacrifice, you fast, for instance, you're sacrificing having food and so forth. What is so special about fasting? Fasting is that you are sacrificing something to get your mind around it, but also it tells your body that you're doing something to sacrifice for something else, whether it's something of religious value, or you're just maybe fasting just in order to rethink how you do everything in your day. Think about that. In fact, fasting is a wonderful way to sacrifice something that is, we do it all the time. We want to have 3 meals a day. We want to enjoy this and enjoy that. But just think, if you sacrificed eating for 3 or 4 days and you fasted to get your mind clear on what you really want to do and get your mind going the right direction and your physicality going the right direction to accomplish a goal, wouldn't that be pretty special? So this is how sacrificing works. What are you willing to sacrifice? What's the tax, the sacrificial tax that you're willing to sacrifice to get your goal or get your mind right or put the people in your life in the right place. Sacrificial tax, success tax is what I call it, but it could be that sacrifice that you're doing. Really, really important. So mindset and success tax. That is habit number one. Number two would be time bending. Time bending and next level habits. Well, what is time bending? Time bending is really, something that is spoken of loosely, but think about this. Time doesn't matter who you are. If you're, living anywhere in the world, each and every person has the same amount of time. Doesn't matter, your status, how much money you have, where you live, how old you are, how young you are, you all have the same time. So how do we understand and how do we get the value out of time? And so I just want to explore the idea of time bending with you. And really, it's about being effective with your time. And when you're so effective with your time, you're almost bending time. You're creating time when you're not wasting time, when you're being effective with it. And the best way that I've been able to find time bending, again, it comes back to that habit that I talked about, the consistency of doing something over and over and over again, and habit stacking. Because when I habit stack, one habit leads to another habit, which leads to another habit, which brings out success, or it brings out something that I can't accomplish with just doing one habit. So time bending is really about, bending time for your will. And you understand how little time you have, and you have to put, things like urgency into everything that you're doing, and not, in a sense, waste it. I know that sounds so simplistic, but gosh, again, I ask you the question. If you wrote down every 15 to 30 minutes what you just did and what you accomplished in that 15 or 30 minutes, here's the challenge: you write it down. I think you'll see how much time you're wasting on a daily basis. And I would say that probably you could pack your 8-hour day. Hopefully you're doing 8 hours a day of work. Many of us don't, especially as entrepreneurs. We think we're always working. Many of us don't actually put in a full 8-hour day. So think about this. If you wrote down, and I'm going to challenge you to do this, write down what you're doing every 15 to 30 minutes and what you're accomplishing, and just stack up all the hours of continuous quality work. And if you can do that, I'm going to say that you probably can do your 8 or 10-hour day in 4 to 5 hours. You can bend time. You can literally bend time when you start thinking of it this way. So time bending. And so what is the new habits that are required to do this next level? Well, it requires developing these new habits. So I've already talked about habit stacking, and we talked a little bit about the habits, but there's new habits that you may need to incorporate to do this. In fact, there's a great book that Benjamin Hardy's written. It's called 10x is easier than 2x. And really what Benjamin talks about in his book is about throwing away all those old ideas of how you are accomplishing your goals and putting them away, because you cannot get to 10x with your current habits, your current goals. You have to readjust them and make them so crazy, so difficult. In fact, they're not even attainable when you think about it. 10x goals. So if you were to, accomplish X dollars in your business, or X customers or clients that you have helped in whatever business it is, whether it be real estate or any other business, and you 10x them for next year, the way that you've done it, you'll never accomplish 10x. You have to actually throw all those ideas that you have done, all those habits that you've done, and throw them in the garbage, and come up with new concepts, new ideas. So crazy, such crazy ideas that is unfathomable, that you've never done before. And so really that's taking it to the next level, discovering new ways, new ideas, new developments, new habits, new ways of 10xing your business, 10xing who you are, 10xing your leadership, 10xing your prospecting, whatever it may be, you have to 10x it. So I'm just going to say, you have to spend time in order to do that and accomplish that 10x. And then you need to come up with new ideas, new concepts. And so I've been practicing this myself, and I've been doing things differently than I've ever done before. What took me, or what got me here, is not going to take me there. And so some of the things that I've been doing, of course, if I just work harder, I put more time in, I'll probably double what I've been doing, but that's not going to be 10x. In order to 10x, I have to basically throw the playbook away that I've been doing for years and years, and write a new playbook. How do I write a new playbook? Well, it's, of course, being a student of the game, learning from others, doing R&D, rip off and duplicate, see others that are doing something like far better than you, succeeding far more than you, and taking their ideas and making them your ideas. Yes, rip off and duplicate, R&D, and then Xing it again and doing it a whole new way that you've never, ever done before. Reaching more people, talking to more people, influencing more people. Doing more in less time. Spending time with new habits, next level habits. Encourage you to do that. Think back, stop, write down what you've been doing. Put a big X through it. Then throw it in the garbage or put it on the wall so you can see what you've done. Now come up with a new playbook. Go and research people that are doing something that is significantly different, significantly more productive than you, if you want to go to the next level. That's the thing. You have to want to do this. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to show you how to do it unless you lean in and say, I want to do this. That is the only way. You've got to lean in. It comes right from your heart, the left side of your chest. That is where it's got to come from. That's where it's got to come from. It's just no way around that. You just got to be that way. So, I mean, there's three ways. You can decide if you want a job. If you want a job, great, just carry on. If you want a career, you'll probably step it up a bit. But if you want devotion, if you want to be all in, you're going to have to do it differently. You're just going to have to do it differently. Okay. Specifically about goals and the catalyst steps that it takes. So we want to talk about the importance of setting specific and measurable goals. For example, if we're talking 10x and we were selling maybe 30 homes last year, 10x is what? 300 homes. If you want to convert, 30 customers, that means converting now 300 customers or clients. If you want to increase your sales volume from 30 million to 300 million, of course, that's 10xing. And so, we need to measure that, and we need to understand how to be specific in measuring these goals. So the exact number of deals, the exact number of sales volume, whatever it may mean, and it really comes down to the lead measures, not the lag measures, the lead measures. What are you doing at the front end to generate the opportunity to get the lag, which is really that end goal? And so that is really, really important to do. We often get stuck in thinking of what we want, but we're not looking at what we need to do today, which is really the lead measures. How many calls do I need to make? How many appointments do I have to have? How many posts? I mean, if you're into social media, how many posts do I need to do per day to help influence the marketplace so I start generating leads? And then how many leads do I need to actually have how many closings of clients, deals, volume of sales, whatever it may be. So you need to be very, very specific. And I would start at the front end, which is the lead measure. How many calls, how many appointments, how many leads do I need to have in order to reach that, whatever that goal is? If it's the 10x, then it's the 10x. Really, really important. So that is one. And then how do you have the tenacity? How can you have the catalyst in the system, the gasoline in the engine compartment to like fire the engine and make it go? What are the catalyst steps to push you forward? And when you do find that catalyst, whatever it may be, and so I would say probably the catalyst is talking about your why. Is talking about, what are you going to do when you accomplish this? How am I going to accomplish this? But more importantly, what am I going to achieve, or what am I going to service or help, or whatever it is? It's more about the why, because the why drives the goals. The why really drives the goals, and the goals fulfill the why. Let me say it again. The why drives the goals. Your why, whatever it may be, whatever your why may be, drives your goals, and then your goals fulfill your why. And so, what is that catalyst that's driving you? And once you've got a little bit of momentum, the momentum takes you, like, it's the hardest thing to get something going. But once it gets going, it takes off and runs at a pace that sometimes is hard to keep up. I've seen this many, many times in many businesses, many agents that I've coached. They go, I just got to get this thing going. I help them understand how to get momentum on their side. And then once it gets going, they get a little freaked out. Like, I can't keep up. The task monster, I call it the task monster, is just on my hind end, chewing me every day. And I got to get ahead of the task monster, because what they've done is they've created so much momentum in their business by stacking good habits, having good lead measures, good goals, 10xing things. They've got all that in place. And now all of a sudden, they got this incredible monster chasing them from behind, because they've now created momentum. And now you have to understand how to handle the momentum, and you have to be prepared for it when it does come. Don't plan for it, or don't create what's going to happen. Let it happen, because if you're so consumed with how to deal with it, it won't come. So you kind of almost got to let it kind of come to you. And when it does come to you, well, then you start adjusting and start understanding how to deal with the task monster, or the momentum of what's going on. And so, what does that mean? How do you do that? Well, it's just that whole process of the lead measures and creating appointments and so forth and so forth. And then you've got momentum going. And now you've got a machine that is just going to keep going as long as you keep feeding it. You got to keep feeding it in order for that momentum to grow. But you've now got a real business with a real machine, with a real engine that's got real gasoline pouring into it and firing on all 8 cylinders. Love it. Love it. Just love that. So once we've got that happening, then we're going to have some obstacles that come along, because now you got momentum. And that's where you need to understand how to control the task monster. How do you hire for controlling that momentum? And you can't overhire, because if you overhire, it can sometimes stall everything, because you're so busy with the hiring, you're so busy with managing people, that you forget about what's most important, which is just serving your clients, serving your customers. So we need to address the importance of identifying and clearing the obstacles early in this process. And so for me, I remember this so clearly. Once I started getting the momentum so strong in my business, I literally couldn't keep up. I could not keep up. I would go to the office at 6:30 in the morning just to get ahead of what I call the task monster, all the things that need to be done. And I'd get there before anybody else. It was quiet in the office. And I would just go, okay, how do I make today the most successful day with all of that's coming at me? And so that was one way. I got early, I got an early start. Again, just stacking positive, incredible habits together. And I did that just religiously. And by the way, in there, I'd also, have a little bit of quiet time with my maker and say, God, help me get through this day. It's going to be a biggie. And I just need a little bit of guidance, bring the right people into my day, go before me, lead the day for me so I can manage it together with you. So that was something that I did that I think was really, really important. And so I would do that. And I still do that, by the way. And so that's just one of the things that I do. But identifying them and then building a process. And so that was when I got so busy, I would just hire another person to say, take these things off my plate. And how would I know what things to take off my plate? Well, on a daily basis, I would have a notepad with me. And that notepad would have a line down the middle of it, and it would have green and red. Red meant it was something that I didn't need to do to accomplish the most important goal, which in my world was helping another person buy or sell a property. In your business, it could be something else. It could be servicing somebody. It could be signing a new contract, a new agreement, a new subscription, whatever it may be. But if it doesn't require you, if it doesn't require you to do it, then that goes on the red side. And that means that's the job description for the new person that's being hired. And the green side was things that I had to do in order to accomplish those massive goals. And so that would be, of course, I need to meet with a client. I need to work at getting a listing. That should be in that appointment. So that's how I did it. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Get out a notepad. There's nothing better than knowing what you don't need to be involved in for the job description of that next person. Well, today we have many other tools as well. We have AI that can take care of a lot of those things. We have programs, apps, whatever it may be. We can farm it out, service it out to another provider of some sort. So there's always ways to clear those obstacles. And probably the best way to know how to clear those obstacles, of course, is footprints in the sand. Some of you may know that poem, Footprints in the Sand, but how I want to bring this about is that there's somebody that's gone before you. In fact, there's been thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that have gone before you and have done it exceptionally well. There's people that have gone before you that have done it exceptionally poor. So look at the people that are winning today. Look at the people that are succeeding in your marketplace, in your line of business, whatever, and go, how are they accomplishing it? And so really follow the footprints of others that are having success, that have already walked before you. And I would encourage you to go and find 3 to 5 people. Go to 3 to 5 people. You might even know them already in your mind, or you might have to research 3 to 5 people. Go to GPT and just put in there what you're looking for and tell Chat, and I call Chat Sam, by the way. Sam's my friend. Sam is incredible. And I just say, Sam, hey, find me the 5 best people, the 5 best business owners, the 5 best real estate agents, the 5 best entrepreneurs that are doing this at a high level. And then I've got those 5 and I just start researching those 5. So just a great way to do that. So I encourage you to go find 3 to 5 people that you would like to model your approach, your business, the way you think and do business, because there's many people that you're not going to align with. You got to align with them, because if you don't align with them, you're not going to do it. And this is everything in life. You must align with the people. So whether it be the people in your circle, the people that you want to follow and do the business the way they do it, make sure that you align with them, that you align with them the way they do their business, their personality, the way they do it, their values, their well, just about everything about them. If you can align with them, you're going to do it much, much better, and you're going to follow them and really, really succeed at that. Okay, enough about that. Depth perception and then measuring your performance. The goalposts of life. So these are the goals, but there's always bigger goals. There's always goalposts that are way, 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 way out in the distance. And they may seem far, far away. But what brings those goalposts closer, and this is our perception, we think they're so far away, but often they're not that far away when we stack the mindset, success tax, we bend time, we come up with new habits, we make our goals very specific, we find the gasoline, the catalyst that's going to help us with this, and then we identify the obstacles, remove the obstacles, and we follow others that have been there. Those goalposts often seem like they actually move closer, and they do. They move much, much closer. So it's really about, understanding that and then putting urgency into our decisions, into our goals. And so one thing that I do, and I think I've even got them right here. Where are they hiding? Here they are. Let me get them. I have two jars. One says master, one says wannabe. And so for me, I need to contact people. This is one of the things that I need to do. And so being urgent and deliberate, I have marbles in two jars, as you can see. And I have one jar that says wannabe, one jar that says master. And so at the beginning of the month, all my marbles go back into the wannabe jar, And every time I have a great conversation, a great appointment, a great contact, and I mean, moving the needle, moving myself closer to success with that individual, because I'm in the people business. We're all in the people business of some sort. So whenever I have a great conversation, a great appointment, a great meeting, I take a marble out of the wannabe and I put it into the master. And if I can transfer all the wannabes to the master jar, I have succeeded. And I brought those goalposts much, much closer, much, much closer. In fact, I would encourage all of you to take this and put that into practice today. This has been powerful for me because it's an object lesson in the works each and every day. Each and every day, I look at those jars and go, holy cow, I got to move some marbles today. I got to make some appointments. I got to make some meetings happen. I got to make some phone calls. And that is what really, really moves it. And I move my goalposts much closer because that's giving me urgency each and every month or each and every day. And it really works on my mindset. And so, we just had the Olympics. And do you not think that they're working on this program? At one point, they're a wannabe. In fact, many of the Olympic athletes think they're still wannabes, even, even when they make the Olympics, because they want to be 1, 2, or 3. In fact, they wouldn't be there if they didn't want to be number 1. Didn't want to be number 1. And of course, there's a cycle to the Olympics. It's every 4 years. And so these athletes go through training and training and training for 4 years to bring that goalpost closer and closer and closer and closer. And they want to get the gold or the goal of gold. And so think about that. They're spending 4 years to get the opportunity to stand on the podium. Yet we can do this every day. That's a crazy thing. We can move the goalposts today right in front of us, and we can be on the podium of your business today, not 4 years from now. But I also want to say that having a 4-year cycle and the effort that they put in for 4 years, think about what you can accomplish if you strive to be on the podium today, but you also are building for a podium that is so substantial in 4 years. See, every day you can be on the podium. You can decide if you're going to be a bronze, a silver, or a gold today. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's right here in your heart. It's up here in your mind. It's up here in your actions. It's up here in your habits. It's up here in your work. And each day and every day, you can decide if you want to be on the podium. Are you going to be on the podium or not? Are you going to be a bronze medalist, a silver medalist, or a gold medalist? You decide. It's your choice. And then you can shoot for the massive podium. What is that podium? Is that for all of your industry? Do you want to be on the podium of your industry in gold, silver, or bronze? What do you want to be? It is up to you to decide what that is. So stress the importance in your life of the performance that you want to do regularly, and then of course through time, and measure them, because when you measure, you're managing everything about that. So what podium do you want to be on today? Do you want to be on the podium today? Yes or no? Ask yourself that. And then do you want to be on the massive, massive big podium of your industry? And that may take you 4 years. It just may, like an Olympic athlete. So chase the big goal, chase the big podium. And I want to see each and every one of you on the podium daily, but I also want to see you on the podium. And if you need some help getting on the podium, I know somebody that can help you with that. And I'd love to be your coach, your mentor, your support to buy into that concept of being on the podium. So last but not least, we got to celebrate these. We got to celebrate. Life is about celebrating. I don't think we celebrate enough. We got to celebrate our wins, and it can be a small win, a big win. We got to celebrate in some way, shape, or form. I remember early on in my real estate business, every time I received a commission check, I did something with that check. And of course, I would deposit it, but just behind the bank was a music store. And I would go, okay, if I had a check, I was going to go and buy a CD of music that I maybe wanted to listen to, or I wanted to expand my musical ear. And so it was always something that I did. And it was kind of cool because I would get a check and then I would play that CD over and over and over, that I would then get to know that music or that artist. And it was connected to a check, a commission check. So I was celebrating the check. Of course, we celebrate in other ways too, but that was just one little thing that I did. And I would encourage you, everything that you succeed in, you should have a way to celebrate it. It's so important. We have to end on high notes. And it's really, really important for us to celebrate the big and the small wins and have success in doing that. And that can be everything in life. That can be, of course, in business. We're talking business right now, but in life as well. We've got to celebrate that. I remember something that we just recently celebrated. My daughter broke her wrist quite severely. And you know, it was a very painful break. We weren't sure how it was going to heal. There's a lot of unknowns about it. And then we celebrated when she got her cast off. We actually had a celebration. Okay, you got your cast off. And then every step along the way where there was success happening in her wrists, mobility and the use of that wrist, we would celebrate it. These are really, really important things to do. You need to celebrate things in life, whether it be in business, personal, health-wise, whatever it may be. We just really, really need to celebrate that. So those are the things that I wanted to chat about. So we talked about mindset, success tax, time bending, creating new habits, next level habits, specific goals. We got to have those specific goals, and we got to have the catalyst to get us there. What's the gasoline that gets us there? We need to identify when we do have obstacles, and how are we going to work around those? And by most cases, we can look at others that have gone before us, their footprints that have gone before us, to understand how to get around those obstacles. And then, of course, those goals. The depth perception makes those goals look like they're a long ways away, but hey, let's bring them closer by understanding how we can do that. and then measuring the performance and celebrating the wins. Got to celebrate those wins. And so I just want to encourage you to do that. If you found this of value and you would like to have a one-on-one coaching session with me or an introduction just to know who I am, and I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to have a discovery call with you. What I'd like you to do, whether it's in the chat or DM me, write success tax. Yes, success tax. I'd love you to write success tax if you'd like to have a quick 15-minute call with me, a discovery call, a discovery Zoom, whatever it may be. And I'd love to hear from you and see how I can help you elevate your game, elevate your business, elevate your life. So thanks for tuning in to the Return on Life podcast. I hope that helped, because it really is about the return on life. It's about the ROL. It's not about always the ROI. I know we need the ROI, but it's really about getting so much more out of life. And I want to help you with that. Write success tax, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.